Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel Daysi DIY. Today I'm sharing with you guys an easy home decor. I hope you enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. For the first project, we're going to be using this wood sign that I got from Dollar Tree, and here's the item number just in case if you guys need it. So the first thing, I'm going to remove the image. I just want to show you, it was really easy to remove the image from this sign, but sometimes they're a little bit hard to remove, and I just show in another video how to remove the image. Also, if you guys don't want to remove the image, you guys can just use the back of the sign to do this project. So to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white. I did one coat and I just let it dry. I also decided to paint the edges so it has a finished look. To distress it a little bit, the sign, I just used the wiggly chalk paint on color moss. I did one coat also and I just let it dry. So once it's completely dry, I decide to create lines. So for that, my sign it measured 20 inches. So every 5 inches, I just mark my lines. And once I'm done, I just connect my lines. I always love to do this technique to give this effect of the burlap look that we're looking for. I also love to do is to trace my lines twice so they can be a little bit dark. If you guys want, you guys can just leave it how it is, the lines, but I always love to distress it a little bit, the lines with my fingers, so they can be a little bit distressed, the lines. Also, I decided to use 2 painter sticks and I just placed my sign on the top and painter sticks on the bottom, and I just use my pencil to trace it at the side that we need it. So I just use my saw to cut it. I'm going to be using a small piece of sandpaper to sand the edges. So the next thing, we're going to be painting the painter sticks, and for that I'm using the wiggly chalk paint on color moss. I did one coat and I just let it dry. Also, I decided to paint the back of the painter sticks so they can have a finished look. I will be using this beautiful free printable that our talented Heidi Sonboul shared with us on her channel. If you haven't seen the video, I will link it down in my description box below, the link of the video and also her channels. Thank you so much, Heidi, for this beautiful free printable. So what I did, I just mark it at the side that we need it, and with my scissors I just cut the extra paper on the side because it was a little bit bigger. So once I was done, I'm just going to be using this Mod Podge to put our image. So first I did one coat on the image, and once I was done, I did another coat of Mod Podge on the top of the sign, and I just used this small brush to put the Mod Podge. I just placed my image, and with the same brush, it still has a little bit of Mod Podge. I just went over to smooth the image, and it worked amazing, this tip to put that image, because it won't have that many wrinkles. I decided to do another coat on Mod Podge on the top so we can seal the image. The next thing, we're going to be placing the 2 pieces of the painter stick, and for that I'm just using a combination of wood glue and hot glue for a strong hold. I'm going to do the same step with the other painter stick on the top. Also, I'm going to be using this beautiful eucalyptus that I found at Dollar Tree. It was the first time that I see them. So what I did, I just grabbed 2 small pieces and I just used a small piece of zip tie to tie it very well. If you guys want, you guys can put it on the top or in the bottom. I decided to put it on the bottom, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to glue it. So once I'm done, I'm going to be creating this beautiful bow, and for that I'm just using this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just showing you what type of ribbons that I'm using. I didn't measure anything. I just kind of eyeball it and see it at the side that I want my bow. So once I just cut 2 pieces of each ribbon and I just place them all together, and once I'm done, I just use another piece of jute twine to wrap around a few times and tie our beautiful bow. And with the remaining piece of the jute twine, I just use my scissors to cut it. And once we're done creating this beautiful bow, we're just going to be using a little bit of hot glue to glue it. So this is how it looks our project once we're done. I'm not sure what happened with the image where I show you how to put this beautiful plank hanger on the top, but it was not that hard. I just cut it at the side that I needed, and once I was done with my pliers, I just put everything back together. If you guys want, you guys can use the same piece of jute twine to hang this beautiful sign. Today, I'm taking part in the fall decor collab that it's being hosted by the amazing Liyana from Liyana DIY'S, and her co-host for this month is Kat from According to Kat, and all these talented friends that they're participating today. Thank you so much, Liyana, for hosting this wonderful collab. Also, I will link it down in my description box, the link of their channel and also the playlist. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. For the next project, we're going to be using this beautiful pumpkin candy jar that I got from Dollar General, and only cost $1. So to paint it, I'm going to be using this beautiful spray paint on color Navajo white glass. So I just did 2 coats and I just let it dry. So the next thing, we're going to be using the Waverly chalk paint on color moss. I'm just going to be distressing it a little bit, and I'm just using a little bit of paint. So once I was done, I decided to reuse this beautiful base that I create on my channel, and I will link it down for you guys, the video, so you guys can see what I did step by step. So what I decided to do, I'm going to be using the Bristolian chalk paint on color white. I did 1 coat and I just let it dry. So once it's completely dry, I'm going to be using a small piece of sandpaper to distress it a little bit, especially the edges. The next thing, I decided to do another beautiful bow, and I just cut a few pieces of these ribbons that I got from Dollar Tree. I just put them all together, and with a small piece of jute twine, I just tie everything very well, and I just cut the remaining piece. So once I was done, I decided to use a little bit of hot glue to glue it right here on the top, and also it was missing something, so I just decided to use a few pieces of this beautiful eucalyptus that I got from Dollar Tree. So I just cut a few pieces and I just place it on the top, and to glue it, I'm just gonna use a little bit of hot glue. I didn't show you, but I decided to use 1 button that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to glue it because it was missing something in the middle of the bow. And once I'm done, I just place my pumpkin and the top of the base, and that was all I did for this beautiful project. I think they turned out really beautiful. I love it, but please let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project? For the next project, we're going to be using one wood crate that I got from Dollar Tree, and here's the item number just in case if you guys need it. So what I did, I removed that label, and once I was done to paint it, I'm using the craft wash chalkboard paint. I just put a little bit of water because I just want to create like a stain to paint it. So I just did one coat and I just let it dry. Also, I decided to paint inside of the wood crates. The next thing, I used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white. So I didn't let it dry when I was putting this paint because I just want to be blending this color together. So once they're completely dry, I went over with the same paint so it can have a little bit distress of the wood crate. So once it's completely dry, I use another paint, the Waverly chalk paint on color musk. I just used a little bit of paint, and once it was completely dry, I just sanded everything very well. I missed the footage of this video. It was not that hard. I just sanded so they can blend all the colors together. So the next thing, I'm going to be using one pumpkin that I got from TJ Maxx. I got this whole bag for $3. I think they were really great deal. So to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white. I did one coat and I just let it dry. So you guys can see I just used a little bit of paint to distress it a little bit, the pumpkin. So the next thing, I want to recreate this beautiful metal leaves that I removed from a pumpkin sign. So I just used a small piece of cardboard and I just traced it, and with my scissors I just cut it. So once I was done, I decided to paint it, and for that I just used the Waverly chalk paint on color musk. I did one coat and I just let it dry. Also, I decided to paint the edges and the back for finished look. I'm going to be using this beautiful berry garland that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just cut 2 pieces, and with a Sharpie I just want to give this shape to the garland. And once I'm done, I'm going to be creating another beautiful bow, and I just want to show you the burlap ribbon that I use, and also the lace ribbon, and this beautiful ribbon that I just found at Dollar Tree. They're really beautiful. I love it. It has like these beautiful small pumpkins. They're really beautiful. So once I'm done, I just place everything together, and with a small piece of jute twine I just tie everything, and with the remaining piece I just use my scissors to cut it. The next thing, I'm using one wood stem that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna be using hot glue to put it. If you guys want a strong hold, I would recommend you guys to use wood glue. So once we're done, I just place the 2 pieces of the berry garland this way. I didn't use hot glue because you can just wrap it around a few times in the wood stem. So once we're done, we're just gonna put a beautiful bow in the middle, and I just create another bow to put it on the other side because I want this beautiful pumpkin to be 2 sides. So the other thing, with this remaining piece of the greeneries that we always remove the stems, I'm just gonna be using a few pieces to put it on the leaves so we can place it more easy in the wood crate. Also, I just put this beautiful button, and I just use a little bit of hot glue to glue it. So this is how it looks our project once we're done. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this beautiful pumpkin? I think it turned out really beautiful, the 2 sides of the pumpkin. So you guys can have a little bit of more options to display this beautiful pumpkin in your house. Please let me know, what do you guys think about the project? For the next project, we're going to be using 10 Jingle Blocks that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm using the color browns. I didn't paint it, but if you guys don't have these Jingle Blocks in this color, you guys can paint it or just leave it on the color wood. I'm going to be spelling the word fall, and I'm just going to be using a little bit of hot glue and wood glue for a strong hole. So I just create that letter F, and I'm just going to be doing that same step to create that letter L and another L. So the other thing, I'm going to be using this packling that I got from Dollar Tree as well. I decided to use a little bit to cover the little gaps between each block. If you guys want to, you guys don't need to do this step, but I decided to do it because I want the letter to have a finished look. So once they're completely dry, I use a piece of sandpaper to sand it very well the letters. And I did the same step with the other two letters. I'm going to be using the Waverly Chalk on Color Must to paint it. I did one coat and I just let it dry. And I just paint the letters all the way so they can have a finished look. And I did the same step with the other two. So once they're completely dry, I'm going to be distressing a little bit because I want the color brown to show a little bit. So you guys can see I just went over the letter and distressed it a little bit, and I didn't like it because you can see the sparkling. So to fix that, I just used again the same paint to paint it. I did the same step with the other two letters. I just distressed it at the way that I wanted. I'm going to be using this beautiful wood leaf ornament that I've got from Dollar Tree, and also I just use a little bit of hot glue to cover the hole in the middle. You guys can use that sparkling to cover it, and I think it will be way better than hot glue. So to paint it, I'm using the Waverly Chalk paint on Color Must, and I just did one coat and I just let it dry. I'm going to be reusing this beautiful sign that I create on my YouTube channel, and I will link it down in my description box below so you guys can see step by step what I did. So I just removed the image that it had in the plate, and once I was done, I just placed my other letters that we just paint, and I just place it this way. And to glue it, I'm just going to use hot glue, but I think it'll be better to use Heat 6000 for a strong hold, or wood glue. I'm not sure what will work best for this project. Once I was done, I decided to distress it a little bit the letters, and for that I used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white, and I just went over the letters and also the sign because in few parts it needs a little bit of more white to distress it. So once I'm done, I decided to remove the greenery. I didn't like it because I think it will look way better this other greenery because it goes more with the fall theme decor that we're doing. I just placed a few pieces, and I think it was the missing piece that it needs this beautiful sign, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to glue it. From all the projects, this sign, it's my favorite. It turned out gorgeous, this sign. I love it how it looks and all the details that it has, this beautiful sign. And also when I did the first time this sign in my channel, I didn't remove the image from the back. I decided to remove that image, and also I just painted on the back so it can has a finished look, and it turned out really gorgeous. I love it. But please let me know, what do you guys think? next project, we're going to be using this beautiful pumpkin sign that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using the back for this project. On the other side, I did another project, but I will show you in another video. So to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white. I did one coat and I just let it dry. So I didn't cover the pumpkin all the way because I want the wood to show a little bit. So once I was done, I decided to distress it a little bit more, the pumpkin, and for that I just used the Waverly chalk paint on color musk. So I just went a little bit heavy on the paint. I didn't like it, so to fix that, once I was completely dry, I went over again with the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white, and it turned out amazing, the distress look that we did on the pumpkin. I'm going to use this metal letter that I got from Dollar Tree, and to paint it, I'm using the Waverly chalk paint on color musk. I just did one coat and I just let it dry. Also, I'm going to be using these beautiful lace doilies that I got from Dollar General, and I'm only going to be using one for this project. So I just put one coat on Mod Podge in the pumpkin, and once I was done, I just placed it on the top, and I just did another coat on Mod Podge on the top. I use a lot of Mod Podge to put this doily. I just want to make sure to cover it all the way with Mod Podge, so I let it dry one day, and once it was completely dry, you guys can see the doily, it was a little bit bigger for the wood sign. So to fix that, I just grabbed my scissors and I just cut the extra doily on the side. The next thing, we're just going to put the letter on the top and also this beautiful metal leaf. It came with the same pumpkin, and also I just create this beautiful bow. I just show you how I create on the other projects these beautiful bows. The other thing that I decided to do, I just use a few pieces of the craft sticks to put them on the letter so it can give this 3D effect that we're looking for. And I also decided to do it on the back of the leaf. And I just use a little bit of hot glue to glue everything. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this beautiful pumpkin? I think it turned out really beautiful, but please let me know what you guys think. And please don't forget to see all the playlists that all these talented friends that they're participating today. Thank you so much, Liyana, for hosting this wonderful collab. So that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified every time that I upload a video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.